Welcome back to episode 56. So last video, 55, was the hard fuel lines. This video is going to be the hard brake lines then. It's pretty mucky under the car and it's not a nice job, so we just need to get it done. I also don't really like laying under the car when it's on axle stands. I'm sure it's a lot nicer when it's up on a 2 or 4 post lift, but on axle stands it always feels a little bit claustrophobic. It's only about that far off the ground and a little bit dodgy. But either way, job needs to be done, so we're going to do that this week. I know I keep saying click the subscribe button, but I really mean it. And also I want to build out, it helps build out the community. We can start getting some more useful discussions going. So please click subscribe, click the like button. That promotes my videos on YouTube, so more people see it, more people jump on the bandwagon, and we can sort of build out like that. And leave comments, that's what we're all here for, so we can sort of discuss and talk about it, have a bit of a joke and things. Anyway, enough rambling, let's jump into the video and see how we get on this week. Underneath the back of the car, this is actually where the fuel tank lives. What I'm looking at today is the rear brake lines, so the hard brake lines, which are, I believe they're notoriously hard to do, which makes it worth doing. If I can just show you where they are. So they, not very good angle there, is it? So this is the brake line, let me see if I can get you, right there. So that's the hard brake line there, coming across the transmission to the point, and then it goes to a flexible line down to the caliper, which is just there. What we're going to be doing is working out how it threads over the top of the transmission. And if I can sort of move my light to show you, it goes over the top and then it comes down behind this drive shaft, down the back there. There's a heat shield here for the exhaust, which is just here. It's behind the exhaust, and then it's about there. It runs all the way to the front of the car. So I'm going to drop the heat shield off the exhaust, this piece. I'm going to thread brand new, I think it's Cupro, what is it? It's the copper nickel brake line. Thread it over the top of the transmission, sort of bending it while I do it, until I've got the right length, which will be up here somewhere. So I've got this piece in place. I'll have the coil of copper, brake line here. When I'm happy that I've got that cracked, then I unroll it all the way down to the front of the car and up into the engine bay. Heat shield bolt, the center of the screen, I'm going to just have to Dremel that off. I can't get on the back of it and it's just sort of turning. It's too rusty to actually hope it's going to come undone properly. So I'll just quickly Dremel it off. I can't actually hold a camera and Dremel, so trust me, that's what I'm going to do. Right, what I've discovered then, so just dropping the heat shield from the exhaust, and you can see the brake line actually has connector there. There's another one, yeah, you can just see it in the picture there. So it isn't all done in one piece, it's done in 2 lengths. One runs the length of the car and the last bit sort of from here goes off to either side. So I'll undo these. It's going to be easy to replace the one that goes the length of the car, which is there all the way down the front. That's going to be straightforward. And this one's the trick one. I need to sort of thread over the transmission. You can kind of see it come around. It goes up and over there. It shouldn't be too bad, but let's get on and just try and do that. So the last couple of turns on this rear brake line came apart pretty easily. Right, so I'm going to remake this brake line now. What I need to do is measure the length. So I'm going to do the trick with the string. It's a very long brake line because obviously it runs the length of the car. So I'm just going to work out how long it is, like this. And then we'll cut the pipe to suit. Accordingly, I've got the pipe there, a nice big reel. Cut the pipe and then we'll start bending it. Right, it might be a little bit hard to see, but I've measured out the piece of string. It comes about 2.2 meters. So what I'm going to do is actually cut it at 230. Give me that little bit extra. So string out the way now. We don't need that anymore. and we need to try and measure this pipe, which is a little bit curly. So I'll try and straighten it out a little. Right, so with the length cut, now we're going to do basically just work along it, forming the shape. It's pretty straightforward, and it doesn't need to be exact. So I'm going to allow a little tiny bit at the end there because I want to trim it, just to make sure it's like a really nice square end on the pipe. And if I can get this right. But that's pretty much that line made up. Now I can't put the fittings on the end because I've run out, so they arrive tomorrow, so I can flare and put the fittings on. Fitting before flare, of course. But I'm going to put that one out to one side and we'll make the other one up now. And this one's a little bit trickier because I cut it to get it off the vehicle, because this was sort of threaded through the new brake pipes I've put in. So I'm going to have to work out which round that goes and make sure I add it into my sort of measuring. But let's just measure the bits that we do have. Untangle the string. So same routine really. I'm just going to work my way along, gently bending as I go. It's quite easy actually because this one's cut in half, so it makes manoeuvring around a little bit easier. Right, back on the bench. This is the hard line that goes to the passenger side rear caliper. I've left the flexi on so don't actually need it off. Let's do the same routine as before. It's going to measure the pipe. And lastly, we're now on to the complicated one. This is the one that goes over the transmission. Actually ran the other way, but it's a lot of difference. Again, that if you look at the shape of it, it bumps and twists and all sorts of things. And I seriously doubt it needs to do all of this. I bet once you're feeding over, you can be pretty straight. What I think I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to get a length about the right size, and I'm just thinking it through because I may actually just feed it over, so effectively poke it over the transmission, flare one side and put it in the correct location at the wheel, you know, where it connects up with the flexible pipe, and then on the other side actually work in under the car with it to get it correct, because once it's over the transmission I won't be able to take it out to flare it here on the bench. So I think that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Right, I don't know exactly how much you're going to be able to see of this, but I'm now trying to thread the hard brake line over the transmission, which you should be looking at the moment. Yeah, there's loads here. I've got probably, I don't know, maybe 6 inches too much, but that's loads that I can flare the bottom there with a fitting on first, and then pop it through the holding there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That should be really good. This is the brake pipe going down to the driver's side rear brakes. And what I think I'm going to do first is, before I sort of put it under the car, I'm actually going to put the sealant on first. I don't know whether I should be using this stuff, but it seems fairly logical that I should put a little dab of this on the thread, just to help seal it. So let's do it on the bench while we're here, and that's one less to do when lying under the car with the grit going in my eye, which always happens. Right, so back on the rear brake lines after the slight distraction of doing the fuel lines. We're under the passenger side, so there's the brake line comes from the front up to here, and we're just before the rear brake caliper. I don't know if you can see, there's the caliper. I've got the new flexible on, comes around into a new brake line there, and they need to join here. And I've just held them up if I can just turn my light. I've just turned up and worked out exactly where I need to cut. So I'm going to take this back to the bench, cut it, fitting, flare, and then we'll come back in here. I've got the connector bit that I was waiting for that allowed me to connect the two lines together. And that'll be one side of the brake lines done. Right, just to wrap up this brake line, so that's the fitting now in place there. Going off neatly up to the flexible lines, then off to the caliper. So that should be this side complete. The only downside is that I've put the connector, sorry, I can't put my hand there because it's casts a shadow. This connector, I've put it right in line with the sort of strap thing, what you know, little clip. So I can't clip it there, but it's clipped just here off the camera, so it should be fine. Right, and then the last part of this project is to take the brake line from the front, which is here, with the connector I just fitted, so that's on there nicely. And we've got the brake line coming from over the transmission into a coil here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it appropriately, bring it round up to about here, just check it fits, meets up with the fitting there. Cut, fitting, flare, connect up, and that should be the rear brakes done. It's a bit tricky, I can't actually film it, so I'm just going to do it and then I'll show you what I've done. Right, that's the finished work. What I'm going to do is they will clip up, if I can get my arm to squeeze in there. That will clip into there, should clip into there. I can't quite do it one-handed. And there's a clip up the other end here that it clips in as well, it goes like that. This one I can't clip in, I've cut it too short, so I'm going to have to leave it like it is. It's tucked up neatly out the way, but it's not going to reach across to these clips. And then this heat shield that's sort of dangling down beneath here, this bit, bolts up, and that'll be that job done. They're all secured up now, they're tightened up into the calipers. I think that is the end of the hard brake lines. I'm of course forgetting myself. I've still got this end to attach. So it's all correct all the way up, calipers, everything all the way back to here. And I've got this piece I left long to save trying to work out exactly where to put it. So what I know is this one comes around here like this. I'm going to rebend that slightly just to fit that clip. This one comes up, it'll be on the inside of that one. It needs to go there. So it needs to bend neatly. My hand bender's here. Well, this is one of the last jobs now on the brake system. I've put in the vacuum hose to the brake booster. I don't know how long to make that, so I've just put a long one on. Now I'm going to just pop in the reservoir, and we should be pretty much done. I mean, I need to quickly whip around all of the fittings and check they're all done up tight, namely the ones on the master brake cylinder. But everything else is done, I believe. Let's get this clip in. About there. I think we're going in. Okay, so I'm going to run round and just tighten up all of these hard brake lines from the master brake cylinder and the brake reservoir, brake pressure regulators, and that should be the brakes done. Right, well I think that's the end of this week. I finally managed to get the reservoir in. That took a lot of pushing. I was really surprised just how hard you have to push. And really actually surprised that the thing didn't crack. But it finally goes right down and seats right tight down on the master brake cylinder, so that's good. I've also gone around all of the hard brake lines that I've put in, doing them all up nice and tight. I know I'm going to regret that. When I start putting fluid in, I need to bleed the system somewhere. Now I can bleed it at the wheels obviously, or the calipers. But I'm sure that brake pressure regulator is going to need bleeding in a different way. I need to look up how to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if I have to take off some of the pipes and sort of at least let some fluid come out. And those long ones going down the middle of the car, they're going to need, I mean there's a lot of fluid go down there. It's going to take some time. That will be the subject of another video though, because that's all we're going to have time for today. Thanks for watching as ever. Click that subscribe button, like, leave me comments, tell me what I've done wrong. In fact, tell me how I need to bleed this system. That's a good start. Save me doing the reading. Just leave me some comments, point me at the tutorials, and I'll see you next time.